Hare Krishna. Welcome to our interview today. Today is the third interview in our series of interviews in which you will get to know about us and about our temple and the devotees serving over here. Today we have with us Her Grace Seva Murthy Mataji, Seva Murthy Radhika Mataji. And she is a teacher, a counselor, MSc in psychology. She is a principal in a Vedic school in Delhi and also board member in a Sunday school in Punjabi Bagh.
ISKCON,
Yes.
yes.
So, and also a member of the child protection team. So, I mean, there are too many credentials for me to even remember all of them. So, thank you very much, Mataji, for
Thank
sparing
you.
time for us. So, without too much more speaking, we would like to hear from you actually a little bit about your. We'll go chronologically, so we can start maybe with your childhood, with how you grew up, your background, where you're from.
Okay, thank you for inviting me, Champaklata Matiji. And yeah, my background is I was born in Delhi, and my grandparents were Brajvasis. So there I started with little bit of bhakti. My grandfather used to teach me Bhagavad Gita shlokas when I was small. Then I grew up, seeing all that. And my grandfather used to give lectures on Bhagavad Gita where I used to sit as a child with him on the stage. So I had this exposure right from the very beginning. But then when I grew up, my brother joined ISKCON, and through him, I came.
So, since you were already so much, your grandfather was giving classes on Bhagavad Gita and he was a Brajvasi. So, what attracted you towards ISKCON?
Yes, because here we thought, like we saw actually that those things were being practiced. So
Yes.
that touched the heart, and we just came in. It was very natural for us. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So yeah, that
Yeah.
is definitely important. Not just saying but practicing.
Yes, yes.
So that's wonderful. So which year did you join actually?
I joined in 2005.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when did you were staying still in Delhi for some
Yes,
time?
yes. In 2010, I came to Vrindavan,
Uh-huh.
and my Guru Maharaj sent me to serve in Gurukul.
Uh-huh. Yeah, your Guru Maharaj is
Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj.
okay.
Yes.
So then you were serving in
In
Gurukul over
Gurukul,
here.
yes.
Uh-huh. So could
I
you
was,
please tell?
yeah, I was there for 8 years, and I taught English, Shastra, and then major service was child protection.
Uh-huh. Child protection.
Yes.
So how come child protection? I mean, what drew you
Uh,
towards that?
like I just saw initially, I was not drawn towards child protection. I was more into teaching. But when I saw that how children are suffering, and like in general, not here or anywhere else, but in general, it really touched my heart, and I thought if we can do something about it, So Champaklata Mataji was then the global head, child protection
Not me,
office. Yeah,
someone else.
yeah.
Other
So
Champaka
yes,
Damatri.
yes. She inspired me, and through her, like she asked me to come into child protection, and I thought, yeah, it's like similar to teaching or what. But then, yeah, I was appointed by the director of Gurukul as a child protection in charge over there.
So, before moving onward, since this is anyway the topic, so could you please tell us the very basics of child protection? What does it mean to give protection to children, and in what way do they need this protection?
Okay, so Child Protection Office of ISKCON is basically set so that children get all kind of protection from four types of abuse, that is physical, emotional, neglect, and sexual. So ISKCON made this office so that children all over the ISKCON temples, all over ISKCON property, they are protected in all four, against all four types of abuse. Yeah.
So, neglect also is one of them, huh? And
Yes, of course, a very big.
is that like the major?
Yes, yes. If you forget to, we see that what are the basic necessities of children? We say food, clothing, and shelter. But after that, you have love and education also. These are also the, basic
Pretty much as
things.
important, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So they need love. And if you love them, there is no need for the force. Like India itself, in the country where we live, in India, it's 88% of physical abuse. And most of the abusers are parents. So I thought like this would be really nice for me as a teacher to get into this field, into child protection, and think of various ways where we can just put an end to these kind of abuse.
Yes. So how were you able to recognize that a child is being exploited in any one of these four ways, and how were you helping them?
So, like, if children would come to me and say, or basically, like, my part was more to work on how to create interesting lesson plans to teach children. This is my area of expertise where, I love making lesson plans. I love to teach in a classroom situation. So this was my area, and this was what I was working on: how to train teachers and parents both to have different ways. Like if I'll just give you an example. Can you open this? Just try and open it.
Well, quite tight, huh?
Okay, now you close it and let me open it. High five. High five.
Okay.
So you see, did I tell you to open it physically?
No.
You could have done like Hari Bol or Hare Krishna, anything. But the moment we do this example, it's not about you, Champaklata Mataji, but it's about like everybody. Wherever I do this training, child protection training, I do this example and everybody tries to open like this. Because the first thing that comes in our mind is physical, getting physical. So if the child has not done something, give a slap.
That's
And the
interesting.
child will do it. So this is the first thing that comes in our mind. And why does this come? Getting physical with children, because maybe we have not had the training required for, to raise the child. So then, my idea was that how to create different ways, different techniques and different ideas, how to give to parents and children and parents and teachers that they can manage children without using any kind of force.
That's very interesting. Okay. So, is there, if it is not too confidential, is there any particular case which you remember was difficult and how you dealt with it?
Okay, yeah.
Without taking any names or anything,
Yes, of course. So there was a child who had come from northern part of India, and he was very small. He was 8 years old, and he was being sexually abused at home. So he had come here, and nobody could understand that what was happening. Even the parents could not understand, because the abuser had said that, not to disclose, of course. So he had come here, and it was like really difficult to handle him. It was really difficult to teach him, because abuse, sexual abuse breaks you completely, isn't it? So, and he had been, when we told the parents that this had happened at home and, all those things, so parents took him to a psychologist and he was being treated, but there was no, the result was not coming out properly. So then here in Vrindavan, like I got the opportunity to get trained under Parvati Mataji, Nirguna Mataji, then Gaur Purnima Mataji. So this was a difficult case for me, and I was a beginner in child protection that time. So I went to Parvati Mataji and asked her, I said, how to deal with him. And that time I had not studied psychology. It's just the recent thing that I have done. So I said, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I don't know how to deal with him. So Parvati Mataji said, okay, bring that child sometimes to meet me. And then I took him to her house, and she just opened her Krishna book and she read. So she said, and the child was, very much okay with her listening to all those stories, even when the language was not there. She was speaking in English, and the child was completely from the Hindi background. So, but there I got some ideas. Mataji said, you need to have a heart for children. If you have a heart, someday you'll learn, and you'll learn like this only. And Krishna is there, Krishna is going to help. And then I really did like this. I used to read Bhagavatam when children used to come to Child Protection Office.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So bringing Krishna consciousness into
Yes.
healing their wounds in whatever way
Yes,
it may be.
yes.
So yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the best thing. But
And
how did you do it?
so I used to read stories to them. I used to tell Krishna conscious stories to them, and that was the major part of healing, I thought. And then I had been always looking for devotee psychologists who can understand both Krishna consciousness and psychology. And there were like very few, or I couldn't find. So then I thought of studying psychology myself. So I can, actually diagnose their problems, technically understand what the problem is, and then the spiritual aspect of it. And then in Delhi in 2018, when I left Gurukul and I went there I saw that there in Vimhans, they are trying to create this environment. They are creating this department of psycho-spiritual counselors. So this attracted me the most, and then I studied psychology for 2 years. And last year I did like many short courses.
Okay.
So this is helping me.
So, what is from your education, from your psychology education, what do you think is going to help you the most in now understanding child protection better than how it was 10, 15 years ago?
Yeah, it's definitely helping me, because earlier I had no knowledge about like learning disabilities, or you could say, any kind of clinical things which children go through. I'm not a clinical psychologist, so I cannot refer medicines or anything. I still need to send children to a clinical psychologist. But yes, I have some idea, and because I'm studying now also, so I know I can understand.
You can diagnose the
I
problem.
can, yes, little bit diagnose,
Yes.
and then if it's a psychiatric issue, I can refer to a psychiatrist. Like that. Earlier, when I was doing child protection, it was just the child protection knowledge and the the Krishna consciousness. But now I have the psychological aspect also attached to it, so it's really helping me a lot.
To understand the psychology of the
Yes.
child and how to deal with it.
Yes,
And
yes,
that's
yes.
definitely must be very helpful. Also, then asking about you're right now principal in Vasudevam Vedic School,
Yes,
right?
Vasudevam Vedic School.
So, can you please tell us something about that? How and what and
So this is a school which was started by few devotees in Vrindavan of Rohini Temple and Punjabi Bagh Temple, ISKCON. So I come basically from ISKCON Punjabi Bagh. And Punjabi Bagh devotees only opened Rohini Temple.
Okay.
So it's like both temples are together. So 2018, my son finished 12th, elder son. So I had to go to Delhi to, for his further education. And these devotees, they asked me, they were already planning to open a school. And this is not like, till now, it's not affiliated or anything. By
just
any
starting.
board, just started. So they asked me if I would be able to join their team. And I said yes, because I'm always interested in teaching.
that's nice. So, you don't have to be physically present there in Delhi,
See,
or
now it's going online, so I'm here.
okay.
Yes. But otherwise, I keep moving.
Okay,
Delhi,
up and down.
Vrindavan. Yes, yes.
That's nice. So it's called the Vedic school. So how is it
Yes.
different than normal public schools? And
Yes, because it has Krishna consciousness.
okay,
So we spend a lot of time, teachers and me, and to plan lessons accurately, so that we try to put Krishna consciousness everywhere. We also train parents. Every month we have parents training also. So, and parents are equally involved in the school. They give their ideas, because all of them, they are devotees.
so is the school going to be open for normal general public also, or is it specifically for devotees?
Yes, it is open for general public also. We have had, few admissions like that. But we have certain conditions like, we follow whatever we follow, we try to tell them. And
Okay.
if they agree, they can come.
So maybe you can tell our audience in Delhi if they are interested to send their children over there
Yes, yes.
in the nearby.
Please come to Vasudevam Vedic. At least have a look and just see what the school is all about.
Okay, so please everyone check out Vasudevam Vedic
Vedic,
School for
yes.
everyone who is living anywhere around that area in Delhi,
Yes.
which is Rohini and Punjabi Bagh area, right?
Yes.
Okay, so and then the Sunday school also then is Punjabi Bagh's.
Yes, this
okay.
is here we have around 250 children, and we have around 20 teachers, and that's going very good. We are 4 board members, and it's on Sundays. We have 6 centers where children come.
All 6 centers
All
you
6
have.
centers.
Okay.
And then in every center we have junior group, senior group, like in 2 classes we have. And like right now we are running this Bhagavad Gita course, which ISKCON Bangalore had done earlier. So here we have like more than 500 children. It's an 18-day course. Every day 1 chapter we are doing. Today is our day 6.
Okay. Well, we are a few days late, huh? Otherwise, some more
Yeah.
people could have joined. Anyway, so you are also mother of 2 boys,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So how has motherhood and teaching and all of this, like, I mean, it's all connected, so they must have helped, complemented each other. So how did that?
Yes, definitely.
How that has been?
Yeah, it's all same. Teaching at home, teaching at school. It's all same. Having fun at home, having fun at school. So children here, children there, And boys here, boys there. Boys at home, boys in Gurukul. It's now that I have, some exposure to how to teach girls.
And how is it?
It's
Easier?
beautiful.
Easier than boys, huh?
Can't say it's same.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's beautiful. I've had, this liking always that to be in, teaching little girls. So now at Vasudevam Vedic, I have this opportunity. And the good thing is that, good thing or whatever you say, Vasudevam Vedic has more number of boys and less girls. I'm
So you're
already
stuck with boys.
experienced, yes, with boys. So it's going on good.
But how would you like from just that is just something interesting. How do you think are girls and boys different when it comes to learning and being educated and training them
I don't
up?
see any difference. I see both as same.
Uh-huh.
They are devotees, young devotees. The way we have to respect, any senior Mataji, we have to respect a little girl.
Yeah.
She's a little Vaishnavi.
Sure.
And a boy is a little Vaishnav.
Huh.
So we have to respect both of them
Yes.
equally well, isn't it?
Yes.
So Prabhupada has said that both are same. So like we have to give, we say Prabhujis to men and we say Matajis, mothers to women. So both we are giving equal respect. So like this, children are boys and girls, they are Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis.
But in their pattern of learning, they're all like are girls a little bit easier to deal with or
So-
less naughty or
No, I don't think so.
okay.
I don't think so. Like every individual has their own
Different nature.
Yeah,
Some
different
boys are
nature.
peaceful also and some girls are also
Yes.
naughty.
Yes, yes.
Okay, very interesting. So both of your sons, what are they studying right now?
So my elder one, he's also into psychology.
Okay.
He has done graduation in psychology. So he wants to become a clinical psychologist. And my younger one, we are still doing his career counseling.
Okay.
This is what I have started with recently. I'm doing career counseling for school 9 to 12th children and then college students. So I've done with him. And he's more into, he's a kinesthetic learner. So he's into like body, very active. He has a passion for cycling. So let's see what he does.
Okay. So you're also counseling people, career counseling.
Career counseling.
So anybody can contact you for that
Yes,
and okay.
yes.
That's wonderful.
It's like, recently I saw one of my friend's daughter. She was in college, first year university student, and she tried to commit suicide. So I was very much affected by it. And then another case I had like this, then another, few cases like this where young children, they are trying to commit suicide.
And the reason?
fortunately all of them were saved. But I was involved in few cases like this. So then I thought, like, what is the reason? Why is young generation trying to commit suicide? Because the major reason that came forward was academic pressure.
Especially in a country like India. I mean,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. So everybody wants their children to study science or become a doctor or an engineer or things like that. So it's simply like this. If I give you a mango and I tell you that turn it into an apple, can you do it?
No, it's not possible. Yeah.
Just if you can try.
Yeah, that's no, of course not.
If you explain to the mango, dear mango, please become an apple, can you do that?
No.
If you explain properly, that see, we say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. A mango a day keeps the doctor away. Nobody says. So, dear mango, please become an apple.
It's just
Then
not possible.
will it become an apple?
No, it's just not possible.
It's
Yeah.
just not possible, right? So every child is made of, certain characteristics, certain ideas, certain abilities. So you cannot force upon the child to become, somebody who the child,
Is not,
from inside the child is not like that. So career counseling basically tells the real abilities of children. It's like CT scan of the mind. Yeah.
So is that done through like a questionnaire or?
Yeah, it's like we have psychometric tests, and the child has to attempt all those tests. It takes some time, and then the result comes, and then we give 5 recommendations, 5 career options.
That's something very interesting. Definitely, I think everybody should try it out. I mean, even I remember when I was a kid, this was such a thing that either doctor, engineer, either science or if not science, then commerce is. And that is also not so good. I was a bright student till my 10th class. After that, I lost it because of the education system.
Yeah.
There was like science.
Science.
It's such a big problem. So, what do you think is the solution to this problem? Because
the education for the parents and career guidance for the children.
And according to your research and what you know about careers these days, are there good career options besides engineering and doctoring?
Of course,
doctors
there
in
are
India.
so lakhs and lakhs of careers. If everybody becomes doctor, then
It
where
won't
will
work.
be the
Yeah.
It's very like basic common sense that if everybody starts studying just science or they become doctors or engineers, what will happen to other professions?
Yeah. So it's just primarily a lack of knowledge on the side of the parents and
Yes.
society in general.
Yes.
Okay, that's very interesting. So right now, in the last 2 years, we are going through 1.5 years through lockdown and all of these kind of things. So how would you suggest being a teacher and a parent? How would you suggest people to take care of the children in these times?
Yes. Thank you for this question. Yeah.
Very important question
Very
right now.
important question, and parents had been calling me and taking counseling for this and I'm giving ideas. So it's a very challenging time for everybody. It's challenging for us, challenging for children. So there are many issues. They don't understand, very small children, they don't even understand the concept. Like I remember I was asking a 5-year-old girl, I said, why are you not going to school just here in Vrindavan few days ago? So she said, schools are closed, Mataji. I said, why are schools closed? Because of corona. I said, do you know what is corona? So she said, corona is she didn't know anything other than this. She did like this. So, how are children going to understand? What will be their understanding? We feel that if I am feeling depressed, I should go to a counselor. But if, because I can, word it, I can put it into words that I am depressed. I feel stress. I can speak this because I know the meaning of depression. I know the meaning of stress. But small children, they don't know these words. They don't know what these feelings are. So they behave in a different manner. And nobody thinks, or like very few people think, yes, they come to me for, asking that how can I counsel my child? How can I give, do you counsel small children also? These questions are being asked. So yes, children also feel depressed. Children also feel the pressure, So they also need to have some relaxation. So parents should understand that how to counsel children at home, not lecture, because counsel is this word counseling is very much misinterpreted, and it's seen as like lecturing. I'm giving my ideas. So dear child, don't do this, think, and we start lecturing. This is not counseling. Counseling is a complete different thing. So parents should learn how to counsel at home, how to relax the child, how to have many different ideas to engage the child at home. You can have obstacle races at home. You can have plenty of games, plenty of educational ideas, what to do in this lockdown time. And there are many parents who are utilizing this time in a very nice manner. So if you, whatever situation we are in, we are not in control. So, but what we can do is how to best utilize this time with our children. So we are having a family time. We are having a good time.
Yeah.
Earlier we were quite busy and running around,
So could you please give our viewers a few tips of basic counseling at home? Like you were saying that parents should know how to counsel their children.
Yeah. Okay. So the very first thing is not to use force. No physical thing. Then no verbal thing also. And try to understand what the child really wants. Like when we talk of abilities, the basic structure of the child, what the child really needs, right? So try to understand that. Do not use force. Then, art, music, dance, drama, these 4 are natural therapies. So if you can engage your children in these activities, you can give them toys. Toys also bring the creativity in children. So sometimes we tend to think, no, toys will make our children naughty, or, it's a wastage of time. No, it's not like that. They make your children creative. Okay, and then expressive art therapy, which includes all these 4 things. Try to engage children in this. There are so many online courses going on, and then you have academics. Online classes sometimes get boring, so you can have different ideas how to teach. You have Google. You just type on Google, I want to teach verb to a grade 3 child. You have so many ideas right there in your pocket, isn't it? So try to engage children, make them busy, make them, let them have their feelings come out through expressive art. And don't use force, give them lots of love, spend good time with them.
And how to deal with challenges, because there are definitely also challenges while teaching a child. Maybe the child at some point is not reciprocative or is just somehow not responding. So how to deal with that?
Yes, so very nice question this also. We did here a course called 7 Laws of Learner. Urmila Mataji once did in Gurukul. So there we learned that it's a law of learner, that the learning is the responsibility of the teacher or the parent. It's your so challenges don't come from the child's side. It's our challenge that we don't know how to tackle that problem. We have not had enough exposure how to teach this particular thing. Like when if I say I can do your eye surgery, I'm a counselor, will you allow me?
No.
Why?
Because you're a counselor, not an eye surgeon.
So my friend is an eye surgeon. I'll speak to her and then do your eye surgery. Will you allow me?
No.
Still no?
No.
Okay, I'll watch some YouTube videos and then do your eye surgery.
Still no.
Because it's a very complicated thing, isn't it? Okay, I say that I'm an Indian woman And every Indian woman knows how to stitch, how to cut. Then will you allow me?
No.
Still no.
No, because the required knowledge has to be there.
Yes. So similarly, we feel that raising a child is very easy. We have to just change the diapers and make milk bottles. Very simple, and that I can do. But we forget that there are so many things that we need to know. As a mother, as a father, as a teacher, there are so many things that we need to know. So even, now we have children and we have not learned all those things. Now what? If somebody asks this. So now learn.
So is there some book which you would suggest or some courses which you would suggest?
So many things, so many online courses are there. Many books are there. Burijan Prabhuji in ISKCON has written Art of Teaching. It explains very nicely how to teach children.
Okay, one question more. These are primarily about small children. What about teenagers?
Yeah,
That's a
for
different
teenagers,
story.
I started this career counseling thing. And yes, teenagers also have many difficulties, many challenges, because they think teenage is an age where it's basically called a revolting age. They want to revolt to different ideas which they were being told all through their lives earlier. So this is the age where we have to be, we have to handle them very delicately. Otherwise, they tend to revolt in a very bad manner. So we need to understand them more. They feel they are adults. They have that feeling. So make them a part, become their friend, like Chanakya has said very rightly. You make them your friend. And then everything becomes very easy. You take their ideas, you give your ideas, you discuss both your ideas, and then do something. So it's very interesting. So if you have a teenage child at home, you have a friend at home.
Yeah, very interesting. So one more question, like in the Indian system of raising children, it is very often seen that parents are very strict. Not necessarily physically, but they are very strict about certain things. So does that have a positive role to play also, or is that completely detrimental towards good upbringing for the child?
See, we have to see, this question is also frequently asked, that when I was small, my father was very strict. I am good. I did not become very bad, a thing like that. So when I was small, the time was very different. There was no internet. There was no mobile.
Yes. Fortunately, actually. Yes.
Yes. And there was no lockdown. There was no pandemic.
Yes.
So now children are seeing, things which we had not seen as children.
Yes, true.
So that time maybe force was there and children were, very good and everything nice. But no, this is a different time. Here, if you use force, that's not working out.
It will be disastrous.
That's not working out.
Yes. Yes.
Isn't it?
So
you
we
just
have to
see
adjust.
practically. Is it working out?
No.
Are children
definitely not.
improving?
No.
Are children, having faith in you still? No, it's not working out. So why not have, different ideas?
Definitely.
Yes.
So we have to adjust according to the time.
Yes.
That's very interesting. So how do you teach Krishna consciousness to your own children at home?
Yeah, I just try to set an example to them that, now both my children are teenagers. One has crossed teen, he's 20, elder one.
So it was a very accurate question to ask you. Huh?
Yes. So if he's elder one is 20, so he's an adult. I don't have to say anything to him. He has his own life. If he thinks this is good, and he'll do it. And the other one is teenager, so he's a friend. So we help each other, both of us. He chants, he wakes me up for Mangala Aarti.
That's nice.
It's like we are sharing. He tells me some story, I tell him some Bhagavatam story. It's like friendly thing that goes on. Earlier when they were small, in Gurukul, yes, I was teaching them, and they were in Gurukul, so they already had that atmosphere. They were learning from there.
Right now, they're both also in Vrindavan, or?
Yes.
Okay. That's really nice.
Online teaching. Yeah.
So you're happy about it, or you're also thinking, hey, Bhagwan, when will my kids go to school again so that I have some free time?
This is the best time of life.
Wow,
I'm
that's
having.
nice.
Yes.
That's,
All
I'm
three
sure.
of us. And, the whole family locked in one room, one house. So it's good. Yes.
So, are there any tips or anything else that you would like to talk about which could be helpful to those seeing the interview?
I think I've said most of the things. This is what I do. And just for devotees, I always, like from my personal side, I want to say that just treat children as devotees, and give them all their love, which they require, they need for their wholesome upbringing. So that's the most important thing.
Actually, just now, then one other question comes up, that as devotees, we have a certain lifestyle which is very different than the outside world.
Yes.
So sometimes kids have a difficulty in like adjusting the two things, especially when they are questioned about why are you different than everyone else. So, and this problem, I think, is even more present there in the West than in India, because in India, chalo, everybody still knows a little bit, okay,
Yes.
what is Hare Krishna, they know a little bit, but in the West it's really difficult. So how would you suggest the parents to deal with it, how to encourage the children so that they feel confident about themselves being devotees and not somehow feel out of place when they are in the outside world, because that is also a part of life.
Yes. See, here one very important thing is that we tell children that people who are not in ISKCON, they are not bad.
They're not bad.
They are not bad. Like sometimes we categorize that only devotees, they are doing the right thing, and rest everybody, the materialistic world and everything is because then children are very pure. They do not understand very elaborately, but very simply they understand that the outside world, everything is bad. And then when they grow up, they come into teenage, they themselves want to explore, and if they find something good in the other world, they think that we are bad. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So we have to show them everything in the means that it doesn't mean that you take them out for some disco theater or anything like that. No, but they should be knowing what is this world all about. Isn't it? So just do not be very fanatic about it. Some people tend to get very fanatic about Krishna consciousness. Raise them in a very normal and a healthy way, and give them a choice. Prepare them for spirituality. Don't force spirituality on them. Just prepare, because Prabhupada said that it's like very naturally it will come. Prabhupada has given them name Vaikuntha children. They are already coming from children born in ISKCON. They are already Vaikuntha children. They are coming from Vaikuntha. So they are already devotees.
Yeah.
So if we become fanatic with them or force bhakti on them, they'll go back. So we have to be, like Prabhupada said, common sense. So we just have to use our common sense in raising Krishna conscious children.
Okay, so one last question because we spoke a lot about child protection and how to help children, but a little bit more about you. What inspires you the most in your Krishna consciousness? What keeps you going in your services?
Okay, I would say, many good devotee friends who inspire me. I have a lot of friends, and my friends who are devotees, they inspire me. And the simplicity in Krishna consciousness, the way we can do everything very easily over here. There is I don't find much cheating over here, or you know.
Pure-heartedness.
Yes, yes, purity. This attracts me.
Hmm.
The scriptures attract me. You know, where you get all the answers of life. So that's the best thing. Yes.
Okay, and what are your future plans?
Future plans to work for children. Keep working for children, whichever way I can. Yes.
Definitely. I mean, it is a very important service because they are our future. So, to ensure that they are secure and taught nicely is definitely a wonderful service. And definitely, all the parents and all other teachers who are connected to you are definitely feeling very appreciative of all your endeavors. And we are also very
you.
thankful that
Thank you.
you have given us your time today
Thank
and
you.
so many interesting and inspiring suggestions for people to apply in their own lives. And definitely, it is a very important subject matter. So, thank you very much, Mataji, for
Thank you
being
for
here.
inviting me. Thank you.
Okay. And please join us next week for our interview. And we will bring another wonderful devotee and get to know them as well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.